Dear students, good morning. In this video, I am going to discuss about the water resources. 80% of the Earth's surface is covered by water. All living organisms having 60 to 95% of water in their bodies. Example, plants and trees are having 60% of water. Animals are having 50 to 65% of water. Forms of water. There are three physical states of water: solid, that is ice; liquid, water; gas, steam. Hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle mainly involves three processes such as evaporation, condensation and precipitation, transpiration and evaporation. Evaporation. The heat energy from sun produce evaporation of water from rivers, ponds, lakes, seas, oceans, all the water bodies. Condensation and precipitation. Gaseous state water in the atmosphere condensed to give liquid water as rain forms precipitation. Transpiration and respiration. Plants absorb water by roots and lose it through leaves. This process is known as transpiration. In the leaves, there are two small holes called stomata through which this transpiration takes place. Both plants and animals lose carbon dioxide and water to produce energy by breaking sugars in their body. This process is called respiration. So, the process of evaporation, condensation and precipitation, transpiration and respiration is called hydrological cycle. This is shown pictorially here. This pictorial representation shows you the hydrological cycle. See, evaporation takes place from the water body, cloud formation takes place, the condensation takes place and it precipitates as rain down, land precipitation, see, ocean precipitation, then transpiration from the trees takes place, water percolated from the land to the underground, underground water flow takes place to the water bodies, surface flow takes place here. So, evaporation, cloud formation, condensation and precipitation, transpiration and respiration. This is hydrological cycle. Types of water resources. Surface water. Surface water are of two types. One is standing water body. Examples are lakes, reservoirs. Another one, flowing water bodies such as streams, rivers, etc. Underground water. Then, let us see about the surface water. The water which is stored on the surface of earth is called surface water. Now, let's see the standing water bodies. Lakes. There are three different lakes are there. Three types of lakes. Oligotrophic lakes, which are very deep. Clear water will be there, deficient in nutrients. Very less nutrients will be there in oligotrophic lakes. Eutrophic lakes having more nutrients, more turbid, more algae will grow very fast and die very soon also due to lack of dissolved oxygen. Dystrophic lakes. Colored lake with low pH, the water is very shallow water, not deep. So there are three different types of lakes. Then reservoirs. Larger than lakes are called reservoirs. Estuaries, you know very well the place. That is the junction of river and seawater. Nadi Muhatwaram, estuaries. Next kind, flowing water bodies. They originate from the precipitation point and flows in streams and rivers. Then second category, underground water. The water which found in the deep of the earth is called underground water. Types: aquifer, a layer of highly permeable rock containing water. Types of aquifers: one is unconfined aquifers, another one confined aquifers. Unconfined means water collects over clay or less permeable rock. Confined means water collects over impermeable rock. We will see the picture. See, unconfined aquifers are shown in dotted lines, dotted dots. Confined aquifers are this one. Uses of water. We all know the uses of water. The consumptive use, domestic and industries. Non-consumptive use, hydropower plant. Other important uses, as we know, water is used for drinking, cooking, washing, bathing. Water is used in hotels, theatres, educational institutions, offices, etc. Water is used for agricultural activities. It is used for it is used in the refineries, paper production, pulp, iron and steel industries. It is used for all the living organisms. It is used as the diluting pollutant and moderating climate. These are the other important uses of water. Effects on overutilization of water. Water is used or utilized in an optimum level. If we use over, that is more than what we need, that is called overutilization. So whenever we use the overutilization of water, there will be effects. So the effects on overutilization of water are decrease of groundwater subsidence, lowering of water table, intrusion of salt water, earthquake and landslides, pollution of water. Let us see one by one. Decrease of groundwater. Due to increased usage, the groundwater level goes on decreasing. Reason: we use water more and more, but there is very less rainfall. We use more buildings, which stops water intake. So there will be decrease of groundwater. Ground subsidence. When the groundwater withdrawal is more, we take water from the wells, hand pumps, bore wells, etc. When we withdraw more and more groundwater from the underground, the sediments in the aquifer get compacted. So, structural damage will be there in the buildings, fracture in pipes, reversing the flow of canals and tidal flooding. Third one, lowering of water table, disturbing the equilibrium state of the reservoir by overutilization of groundwater in arid and semi-arid area. There will be lowering of water table. About the water resources. 80% of the earth's surface is covered by water. All living organisms having 60 to 95% of water in their bodies. Example, plants and trees are having 60% of water. Animals are having 50 to 65% of water. Forms of water. There are three physical states of water: solid, that is ice; liquid, water; gas, steam. Hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle mainly involves three processes such as evaporation, condensation and precipitation, transpiration and flood. In the second unit itself, we had seen about the flood. Flood is an overflow of water when flow rate exceeds the carrying capacity of the channel within its bank. Why flood takes place? What are the causes? Heavy rainfall, melting of ice, accumulation of sediments in channel by the construction of dams or whatever it may be, deforestation, overgrazing, mining process increases the runoff, removal of forest in hilly zones. These are the main factors which cause flood. What are the effects of floods? Water spread in the surrounding areas, plain surface eroded, the cultivated land is filled with sand and mud, which affects the biodiversity, economical status, etc. See the picture how flood affects the people and the area. Then reservoirs larger than lakes are flood management. Flood can be controlled by constructing dams and reservoirs, by the proper channel management, by avoiding the encroachment of floodways, and by forecasting and flood warning. Then drought. Drought is nothing but the scarcity of water occurred due to inadequate rainfall. There are four different types of droughts. One is meteorological drought, hydrological drought, agricultural drought, and socio-economic drought. The pictorial representation of drought. Meteorological drought happens when total amount of rainfall less than 50 to 75 percentage. Hydrological drought occurs when total amount of rainfall less than statistical average rainfall. Agricultural drought occurs due to shortage of rainfall which affects the cropped plants. Socio-economic drought occurs due to the unavailability of food and security which leads to famine. Causes. The main causes of drought are annual rainfall is low, high population, overexploitation, and deforestation. Okay, what are the effects of drought? Hunger, malnutrition, deficiency of drinking water, crop failures, shortage of food, which affects the food cycle, raw material deficiency for industries, natural resources degradation, migration of people from one area to the other. See how drought affects the plants. Due to less rainfall, the plants are dried. Drought management. Drought can be managed by rainwater harvesting, by construction of reservoirs, by modern irrigation technology, by afforestation activities such as by planting more and more trees, and by using mixed cropping and dry farming method. About the water resources. 80% of the earth's surface is covered by water. Then next about conflicts over water. Due to increase in population, decrease in water resources, conflicts over water starts between the countries, between the states, between the districts, etc. What are the causes for water conflicts? Through use, construction of dams or power stations, through pollution. Conflict through use. International conflicts. Conflicts between India versus Pakistan. They fight for Indus River water. The conflict between Mexico and USA. They fight for Florida water. There is conflict between Iran and Iraq. They fight for Shuttle Arab water. India and Bangladesh. The conflict is there for Brahmaputra water. National conflicts. The conflicts between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka for Kaveri water, Andhra and Karnataka for Krishna water, Tamil Nadu and Kerala for Sirvan water. Construction of dams or power stations also bring about conflicts. Conflict through pollution also takes place. Industrial wastewater are directly mixed with lakes, ponds, rivers, and sea, which makes conflict, which is shown picture. Conflict through pollution. Management of conflicts over water. We have to take efforts to control water pollution. Laws should be followed to avoid water pollution. The interlinking of rivers will avoid conflicts between the countries and states. So, we have to interlink the rivers. That means rivers must be nationalized. Water resource management. Central Water Commission, which takes or which cares about the surface water. Central Groundwater Board, it cares about groundwater. Indian Meteorological Department takes up the precipitation. Central Pollution Control Board, it manages the water quality. Ministry of Agricultural and ICAR, they are taking care of the water use for agriculture mainly. Central Public Health and Environmental Engineering manages the water supply, sanitation and sewage disposal. Department of Power, it takes care of hydroelectric power. Department of Forest manages the watershed plot. The pictorial representation of drought.